Here today, we are going to be discussing the George Floyd protests and why they're good, because they are, and they're actually incredibly based. Two of the three people right now in the live stream have actually gone to some of the protests, which is pretty cool. Um, but we're going to just generally be talking about why you should go to the protests and why they're good. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good discussion. First, I will talk a little bit about maybe, you know, let's give a bit of the background, obviously, because like things have happened. So obviously, George Floyd was murdered in cold blood by the police. That's just like a fact. I'm pretty sure we can all agree with that. Like he was executed in the street, pretty much, which is horrible. And it's like, you know, this is like not like just like a one-off thing. Like black people have been like being like, killed by like the police for like years. And I think that what this is kind of just like those tensions finally like coming to like a point now where like it can no longer just be like avoid and like like now we're like
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. So um the protest that I was at was actually like completely just like just like everything was like not really, no, I'm not gonna say like, not too much like exciting happened, but just like not too much like like that made me like,
Aggravation.
yeah, fear happened. So um hey John, all right, so yeah, anybody who wants to talk about it, you speak up.
I mean, I think it's like close to home. Like I feel like a lot of us like is an issue. It has been an issue and I think we were all like aware of this, but it's like nothing to this extent in our lifetime has really like gotten to this like breaking point. Um but I think it's like a very new experience for everyone here.
Yeah. So Sunny Egg, would you mind talking about it?
Was like the first really serious protest that I've ever been in, and I went into it thinking it was gonna be one thing, but I feel like when you're there, it's so much different and just so powerful because you can just feel like the the strength and the passion and the desperation within everyone, and like that like juxtaposition with the like police always surrounding you and watching you. It's just like a really weird feeling. But I do think that it's good that these protests have really branched out into other states and into other cities because I feel like it's really carrying on the momentum of what's happening. And I think that even if things may get more violent or rowdy, that that's getting in the news and it's getting talked about, and this is becoming a nationwide thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely say like I remember like for my protest like like just like you know I don't think I've been to Newark in like 5 years. Maybe like I went to like the Newark Science Center like maybe like the last time I was there, but like when I went there like it was just like so packed. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that we were in the middle of a pandemic. Like there were like some reports have
Mhm.
said that there were like 3,000 people there. Some reports have said that there were like 10,000 people there. Um, it's like truly just like all over the place. Like like nobody really knows. Like like I just like have to say like, it was just like really empowering. Like like and like there were like some people like so. This is actually interesting. So in Newark, there were actually two protests going on at the same time. One of them was okay. Weird take from the chat. This guy was like, "I'm going to leave because I disagree with you." Okay, whatever. Um, but you know, like there was one protest there that was like kind of just like a like run by like the populist people organization. I can't remember what their name is, but another one was like run by like the Black Panther Party, And
See.
my mom was like, "Oh no, you can't go to the Black Panther Party one." But they were both just like completely just like chill. Like nobody like like nobody's trying to fuck shit up. Like police were like when like I think it made like the Newark what going on in Newark, the Newark protests so much more different than the other places. Is like the mayor of Newark like wasn't trying to like kill everybody. Like the mayor of Newark is like, "Oh, you guys are fine. We're not going to just like crush you for having a dissenting opinion." Um, and like the police because of that like like we're like at like kind of like minimal levels there.
I think there's also like this very I mean, I know eventually you're like middle class family, like white family,
Yeah.
and while like I'm like spicy white, I guess. I'm raised Muslim community, but like I am half white, half Arab. Um, I was raised with like a trust in police or like whatever. Like if you need something, like you call the police. Like I remember being like in
Wait,
kindergarten.
wait. Jean, you should totally come on the stream and talk about it. Oh, sorry. I just want to say that in the chat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt.
it's fine. I remember in kindergarten, like someone's car like got egged, so my parents were like, "Oh, call non-emergency number." But I think that it's just like very like foreign, I guess. Like there's just this like huge cognitive dissonance from like what I like was raised to believe and like
Here, Jean.
something I grew up in versus like literally everything I'm seeing now. And I think that some people um aren't able to like get over that, if you know what I mean. Like some people are just like so stuck.
Yeah, I'm actually going to share the Discord. I think we're gonna have somebody who has a dissenting opinion on very quickly. Um, because everybody else was like, no. I don't know. A bunch of people pussied out of this debate. Not even like debate, just like a bunch of people like just like pussied out of like even just like coming to like discuss this with us. Like we had like this. I had this one guy who was like, who basically like was like, no, George Floyd just did that. And then we were like, okay, then sure. If you genuinely believe that, then come discuss that with us. And he was like, yeah, sure, I will. And he was like, oh, sorry, something came up.
Uh, uh could you imagine?
Yeah.
Um yeah, I think it's just really terrifying to see like something that you were like told to believe like constantly or like reinforced and then it's like totally shattered. Uh like at some point it's like how the fuck did like someone tell me that? Like how did someone just like lie for like maybe like 10 years of my life? Like how is that just something that like I accepted and was like, "Oh, this is fine."
Yeah. No, yeah. That's like, it's really weird because I mean, like, I genuinely think that we should like make a move to like communal policing. I like seriously think that like
Oh
that's
yeah.
like something that we should do because like it's proven to work. Like we didn't have like the police like as like the structure that they currently are until like the mid 1800s.
Yeah, I think it's just like mutual aid is really great. Like it like um
All right, Jean, you're live now on the Krill stream.
Nice, nice, nice.
So, I just want to discuss basically this is Jean, and you said that your opinion is that you said that your opinion is like that like here I'll say that your opinion
You want me
is
to state it?
yeah sure
Okay. Yeah, basically my opinion on protests are inherently good. I think that they're fine. However, when they turn into rioting and looting and hurting other people, then it's not the best.
okay so I will offer like kind of like a counterpoint to that I suppose
Mm-hmm.
um like a lot of people have been like trying to use like Martin Luther King Jr. quotes and like Gandhi quotes to like say like that the protests are invalid, but like like from Martin Luther King Jr. mouth, like like protests are the voice of like the unheard, or sorry, riots are the voice of the unheard, and like while they are not like, I will like not like say, hey, it is just like I will not say that it is inherently good to go around and like fuck shit up. I will say that like, like when it is done like for a purpose and it is successful, it is good.
Hmm.
Because the riots are the reason that one of the cops is under arrest. Like the riots are like the Stonewall riots, like the reason that like gay people like are like doing so well in America like these days. Like like that's like why they started to become like normalized, because like after like Stonewall riots, people are like, oh shit, we sympathize with these people.
Hmm.
Um,
Also, I feel that like peaceful protesting is all well and good, and a lot of these protests started that way until like they were like until they got attacked. But peaceful protests are only going to work if a government is willing to listen to the people and take into account what they have to say. If someone is literally uh, killing people, and they're not willing to like be like, I'm going to stop killing people, like I don't think that you can be treating uh, a person or like an organization with like kindness and like being like, oh, I see your side of the story, if they're not willing to change, they're not willing to fucking stop, like, you know.
Mhm. I
And at the
really,
end of the day,
sorry, I was just gonna say I really agree with that point. I feel like we've been peacefully protesting for so long, and like this is still such a huge issue. And I feel like this is the point that it's come to, is that like we have to do stuff like this for people to listen, for the media to like keep coverage of it, for people to realize how big of an issue of this and how many people really care for change to be made. Because if it's just like a lot of peaceful protests, like the government isn't going to listen, they're not going to see, and it's only when like we make it apparent and we make it hurt for them that they're gonna actually try and change stuff.
yeah. And
wait,
I
here,
was what
let's give Jean a chance to respond. I don't want it to feel like we're like piling on or whatever.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, I kind of agree on, but at the same time, I kind of disagree when it comes to hurting other people.
oh yeah, people
Let's say let's say right now, I don't know where you guys all are, but let's say right now I'm in Florida. Let's say something happens and they start coming, and actually no, I'll actually turn it around the other way. Let's say wherever you guys are, they go and start raiding and looting your guys' homes. They start going and looting your guys' on targets, on whatever,
I don't
and
care
they're
about
doing it.
Give,
Well,
give,
well,
give,
well,
give
no, no,
him time
no.
to finish. Give him time to finish. Give him time to
Yeah,
finish.
yeah. Well, besides the point, targets, your houses, whatever. They're going around. They're beating up people just to do it, and they're saying that they're trying to prove a point. How would that make you feel? Like you would be coming out of your house with a bloody nose, and then you're trying to kind of sympathize with them.
I just
Like
want.
that doesn't make any sense to me.
So can I actually ask you a question? Do you have
Yeah.
any other? I mean, like I'm aware what like the reference to the target is. Can you give me any examples where that has happened to people?
Yeah, there was actually a lady that was disabled in Michigan, and she got beat up by a group of guys
Wait, do you mean the
and they were
lady who was
claiming.
stabbing people?
I don't know. She was disabled.
The lady
She
who's
was
in the
probably
wheelchair?
stabbing people. Yeah, she was
And
probably stabbing
outside of
people
the
trying to
target?
protect herself.
Yeah, she was literally stabbing people.
Yeah,
I
she
don't
was
think that
probably
like,
trying to protect herself. I'm
no,
pretty
no,
sure
dude,
she
no,
wouldn't
dude,
just go
dude. I
around
saw the
just
video.
stabbing
No, no,
people.
dude. She was waiting outside of a target to stab the looters.
Yeah, that
That
would
isn't
make
protecting
sense.
herself.
I
It kind of is. I mean,
No,
if
dude,
people
she
were going
went
and
to the
looting,
target to
hold
stab
on.
people.
Yeah, I mean, if people were going and looting your stuff, wouldn't you want to do that?
The
Yeah,
target
it's
isn't
not
her
really her
stuff.
stuff. It's
I
Target stuff.
Target is
Hold on,
not.
hold
I
on, hold
would
on.
like to
Target's not
mention
really.
with the
Target's not really her
target,
stuff.
Evgenia.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
with the
no,
target, they didn't indiscriminately just choose a target to go loot. The target had donated to the city to like install CCTV. They had worked with the police department before. It wasn't just a random thing. They didn't. The places
the
that
part where
they've
they
been
wait.
looting, it's actually they've thought it out. At least on like the people who are leading this, they've considered what they're doing. I'm sure there are some people who are just in it for the destruction, but most of them are actually thinking about what they're doing.
Also building off of that, that's not even like the direct reason why they were doing that. Of course, that's like part of the reason. But these people were legally trying to get water and milk to wash their eyes out from fucking tear gas, because the police just love tear gas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They were legally trying to buy this shit because they're injured, and they weren't allowed to do that. And so they were like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, just we need this shit. Just like fucking take it, guys. Like,
Can I piggyback off that, or do you want to
No,
go?
yeah,
Paul?
you totally can. I'm sorry. We don't.
Okay. I was watching a lot of the videos basically about all of that, and the only time that they would get tear gassed was whenever they would try to push on basically the police and trying to push themselves onto them. I don't trust me. I totally disagree with what the guy did to that other guy. On the police, what the police did to that other guy. Honestly,
Floyd?
he should lose his job. He should lose his job. And to be honest, he should probably be put to death. I'm going to be completely honest, because he killed a person. He murdered a person. Cold-handed, basically.
What do you think? Sorry, I know that I'm like, oh, don't interrupt, but like I'm gonna interrupt
No,
you.
you're good.
So, what do you think about the other 3 police who sat there and watched?
I think that they should lose their jobs and they should get jail time. They didn't really help in murdering him, but they kind of just sat there and watched, and it's guilty by association.
Okay.
there are some videos I'm sending this stream chat that are like relevant to this. Like, there are videos of cops destroying water. There's a video of people literally just sitting down in a line, and they're getting pepper sprayed for sitting there.
Where are those videos?
I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay.
Here, I actually have some videos that I actually saved on my Twitter beforehand that we were just gonna look at for like fun, but now let's do it for serious because it's like less fun.
Yeah.
So here I'm gonna go to Twitter. It's
There's
so.
one of someone with.
By the way, guys, we have a Twitter. You can follow Nancy Krolosi. It's my personal Twitter, but whatever. Who cares?
Here's another one.
Here, I can show a video. Yeah, no, if you find a good video, of course, like, share it. But here, I will share this good video of cops destroying, like, basically just like random, like, like water and milk jugs that were put out, like, to help.
Destroying everything!
I'll share that to I'll share that to the
One of them, that's the first link I sent.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
not awesome.
Yeah, I'm watching the second one. That guy got way too close to police.
Getting close to the police, though? No, you have to realize, like,
Yeah,
the police
because
are the ones that have
it's
guns,
threatening. It's threatening their
Like,
their safety.
Well,
Well,
like the police, like you have to realize, like, like if like here, wait, actually, Anna was actually at a protest where the police were getting too close to the people. I'm sure you could talk about that. Wait, no,
yeah,
Anna, like
I would
this is for her
agree
to
with.
say. Wait, this is
yeah.
for somebody else to talk about. I'm letting her talk.
Yeah, I think that.
legally allowed to record it.
Yeah, but I also, just really quickly, I feel like it's the police's job. Like, this is their job to, like, do this kind of thing. So if they're threatened and they're intimidated by people just, like, getting close to them to the point where they feel like they have to attack them with, like, pepper spray or tear gas, then I feel like that's, like, unnecessary force. Like, how can you be threatened by that? People are just like.
Imagine someone carrying a gun down their pants. You don't know what someone is carrying. You have no clue.
They have bulletproof vests. They have all this.
Shoot them in the head.
They
It will
have
go
guns
straight through their
there.
face.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Most people don't go for headshots. If you're classically trained, you're trained to go for center of mass.
Oh yeah.
Headshots is
I know.
literally just like a TV thing.
Yeah, I know, but why would you go for the body if you know that they have bulletproof vests? That makes no sense. If you're actually in the moment, you would go for the head.
That's still where the police aim for.
Oh yeah. The police they're totally aim for the body.
Let Anna talk. We're totally
I
fine.
think in part of them signing up for this job, they acknowledge that it could be dangerous and they accept the risks that come along with it. So, like, I think that they should only be able to use force if, like, they're being attacked. Like, personally, like, I don't think it's threatening at all to have just these protesters, are probably not going to try and hurt you because they're probably just trying to get like the police to like, if anything, like trying to get them to go after like themselves. Like they're just it's about intimidation. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna like go after them, and if they do, then like okay, fine, maybe. But like just like stepping up and being close to someone, I don't see and understand how that warrants hurting them like that.
And then also, I just really want to
Um,
quickly piggyback off of that. I just want to like say,
mhm.
you know, like if it were like like just like like movie theater owners, and they were like like, oh, I'm a movie theater owner, and like like a movie theater. Oh wait, no, that wasn't even what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about how tear gas is literally like banned by the Geneva Conventions. Like it is like banned by
Yeah.
international law, and they're, like like it's like like police in like 1920. We are going to, or like police in 1860. We are going to stop raiders who are killing people on the western frontier. Police in 2020. People from my town are getting a little bit too close for me, so I am going to break international law. Like, you know, what's your opinion on that? Like, like they're breaking international law literally by using that. Like, like you are not supposed to use like tear gas on like other countries in war, but they're using it like on their own citizens because like they feel like they're getting too close to them.
The reason why they're not supposed to use it in war is because they will use lethal ammunition as well. No, we use it as a thing of basically being able to demobilize
It
people,
can kill people. It
not
can still kill
using.
people. If you have like asthma, it can kill
If they're
people.
allergic to it, yeah, and if you're allergic to it, I can agree. However, they carry EpiPens a lot of times as well, so then they can detect that.
Okay, I'm just saying COVID-19 is a respiratory disease. Loads of people have asthma. Like asthma's not like a rare thing. Like I know people who have had like asthma attacks like at school and shit that have literally like been almost life-threatening, and like those two like things combined, like loads of people have pre-existing conditions combined with COVID-19, a respiratory disease that like is fucking debilitating, plus tear gas in the like, how the fuck do you justify that? Like, if it's banned from the Geneva Convention and we're in the middle of this fucking pandemic, like, make it make sense, you know?
Yeah, again, the whole thing about the Geneva Convention, that's during war because they're using lethal ammunition as well, so then that would demobilize them, and it would basically just be instantly just walking in and you can, can't speak, you can literally just do one shot and then they're dead. It's a little bit different here because you're trying to demobilize them. However, I watched the video of them just sitting down, they're blocking a public road with people being able to go through it and everything else. Personally, I don't think that they should have used tear gas. I think that they should have just picked them up gently and scooted them out of the way.
I'm going to pick up the protesters gently.
Hey, I mean, you do what you have to do.
Also, I'd just like to respond to the chat really quickly. So the chat says, if someone gets in your face, you have a right to fight back. May not be the best choice, but you still have a choice to defend yourself if you're threatened. So if a cop comes up to me, do you think that it's my legal right to stab them? That's my question for you.
No, because they're an enforcement of the law.
But why if a cop if I feel threatened by them, and also like I'm just responding to the chat. That's a question I would like to answer it in the chat because like if I feel threatened by an officer coming up to me, or if let's say that I happen to be within proximity of let's think of let's say that Steven Crowder came to my campus and Steven Crowder and he came up close to me and I felt really threatened by him because he's kind of a tall guy. Oh my god, he's so threatening. Should I stab him, guys? Should I stab Steven Crowder?
It would not make sense too, because on a lot of the stuff that Steven Crowder does, he actually usually stays away from people, and whenever he does get close, he always says, "Is this personal space? Oh, I'm comfortable for you." That's usually what he does, and he usually doesn't yell and get in people's faces or anything like that. It's a little bit different with protesters because they're a lot. Well, they're.
I was just running the chat.
They're a lot more.
I'm not. I'm not ascribing that position to you, Zone.
Yeah.
I'm just running the chat because the chat was like, the meme of SpongeBob and Patrick putting the butterfly in the jar with the bikini bottom thing. That's basically protesters in a nutshell.
Okay, to Leonardo or whoever you are, we don't want to incite violence. People are dying.
Yeah.
They're being killed. Like, excuse me if I don't want people to be killed.
So And also, if I would be tried as a criminal but do what I want, does that mean that the police should also be tried as criminals for what they do then? Like, for, like, for getting another police. So, if the police gets in my space and I stab them, I would be tried as a criminal. But the police have every right to go up in the space of people who are just, like, like, peacefully protesting
Mm-hmm.
and not be tried
Yep.
as criminals? Like,
Yep,
that's double
because they.
standard.
I mean, no. Because are they going to stab you? I don't expect them
At
to
this-
stab you. I mean, if they would do
How
something wrong
supposed
against
to
you, then
fucking
yeah.
know?
I mean, that's totally wrong. If they do something wrong against you.
There's a lot of
However, if
videos
they
you
You know
don't,
that cops have higher rates of domestic abuse than like literally everyone else. If a cop in like full on fucking battle gear with like guns and Kevlar vests and shit and batons and tear gas and pepper sprays in front of me and getting into my personal space, personally, I'm going to fucking run. I'm part Arab, I'm trans, I'm assigned female at birth. Like, I want to be around that kind of person.
Mirage
yeah,
Leonardo guessed that
all
I'm
that
20
doesn't
something. I'm
matter
gonna
whenever
cry,
you're a cop,
guys.
but yeah.
Also, Mirage Leonardo said that I'm 20 something. I'm going to cry. I'm so proud of myself.
Dude,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, honestly,
so how is
all
it
of that
like-
doesn't matter, like race, gender, sexuality.
No,
all that
it
really
does.
doesn't matter with
It
your
totally
cop.
does.
It seriously doesn't, because they don't know. Trust me,
dude,
unless
here,
you make
here,
it like
here-
totally like, oh, this is what I am, they won't know.
No, you want to
So
talk
it
about something?
doesn't
No, you
matter.
want to talk about something? So,
Sure.
so despite making up 13% of the population, cops kill black people. Like they make up like 30% or something like that of people killed by cops.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a double standard. So you telling me like, you really think that black people are like twice as likely to be like like violent as white people?
I think that everybody has an equal thing to being violent.
So
Just
then
depends
why?
on who you and how you're raised.
All right, so then here's another question. So basically, African Americans, despite making up 13% of the population, make up 52% of
Mm-hmm.
of people pulled aside on the road by cops. Do you think that black
Mhm.
people are 5 times worse at driving than white people?
They can be. It depends on how you're raised.
What? So therefore, you think that
No,
black
no,
people
no.
on average are
I'm
no,
not
no, no, you think that on average
I'll share my
you think that on average
I'll
black
share
people
my
are
personal
5
experience
times
afterwards.
worse at driving than white people?
They could be. I'm not saying that they are. They could be.
there's a difference
And-
between
and-
saying
and it could
I'm
be
going
the
to
other way.
I'm going to pull a random white person and one random black person and measure how bad they are at driving. This is as a whole.
Yeah.
This is as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about sample sizes. We're talking about everyone.
Yeah, we're saying like you genuinely
not-
believe that black people are like 5 times less or 5 times worse at driving than
They
white
could
people.
be. Or it's the flip side. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
but I
those-
mean-
I don't have those numbers. That's
What
what
I
I'm saying.
mean
I
is, like,
can't make a
you're-
judgment off of it unless I have those numbers.
But I'm giving you the numbers. I'm telling you that black people make up 52% of
Mhm.
of people who are like pulled to the side of the road. Also, please nobody clip me saying black people despite making up 13% of the population and then the number 52 because then people are going to say that I 1350'd. I swear I did not. But like, like I don't think that like people are like like the ability to drive is like a thing that I don't think that there's like an ability to drive gene in the brain. Like I don't think that black people are like like worse at driving than white people. What I think
no.
it is that it's that police are more likely to pull aside a black person for driving than a white person.
Mm-hmm.
Is the point that I'm being made, whether or not like.
Yeah, I'll share my personal experience. I mean, this is kind of irrelevant, but I mean, it kind of matches up with what we're talking about. But my golf coach, he's black, and he told me a story one time, and he said it in a funny way, and he said one time he got pulled over by a cop, and he was extremely rude. He didn't like him at all, basically. And he was speeding, so he had a right to be pulled over, basically. But he was treated with disrespect like crazy. Almost like to the point that the guy wanted to take him out of the car and like put him in handcuffs, type of thing. And like literally, he didn't do anything. And it got to that point. And then he got pulled over another time, a little down the road, and he was treated perfectly fine, perfectly nice. It was perfect how he got treated. He got a pass because like he didn't need a ticket or whatever because he got a ticket before, because he was speeding again. But the guy just let him go and he said that he was fine. And then he mentioned to me like, which cop do I think was white, which one do I think was black? And I said, well, I mean, by the sounding of it and by what everybody always says, I would think that the white cop was the mean one and black cop was the bad one, or was the good one, was the nice one. It was actually opposite. And he said, isn't it funny how people always say that race and all this stuff matters when it
we
really
literally
doesn't?
we actually all say that all cops are bastards. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not going to speak collectively for the group here.
No,
but I'd say that a bunch of us think that all cops are bastards, regardless of.
Yeah,
I don't think. I would say that I don't think that like a black cop is different than a white cop, is different than a trans cop, is different than another cop. I mean, like I think that if you were a trans and a cop, gay and a cop, black and a cop, or like a woman and a cop, you are actually worse than a white cop because like a white male cop, because like you actually have the experience of knowing that cops are worst, but yet you still chose to become one. Anybody here can disagree with me on that. That's like kind of a hot take.
Oh yeah, like I think people might intend to like go in there and like fix things, but in the end, you're signing up to enforce the law. You're not signing up to protect people. You're signing up to enforce the law, and the law is discriminatory. Like, you literally cannot get past that.
How is it discriminatory?
It is.
Also, Leonardo, I don't want to become a cop. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, none of us want to be cops. Okay, but yeah, what I was gonna say.
Trust me, I don't even want to be a cop. I wouldn't want to have to deal with people.
I wouldn't wish being a cop on my worst enemy. But no, wait, no, that makes it sound like I think that cops have hard jobs. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Well, they
because it's
do.
too easy.
Trust me.
Yes, it's so hard to make people like feel at risk for their life.
No, it's hard to protect people from other people that actually endanger.
You know that
other
actually the Supreme Court ruled in 2012 that it's not actually like a cop's job to protect and serve. There's like a thing like basically.
I just saw that.
Yeah, if you have the link to that and you can post that, I'd really appreciate that so that I can.
They take an oath to protect and serve. However, they do enforce the law as well. It binds itself together.
Yeah, but like enforcing the law, like the law isn't inherently good. Like I was gonna say, like in the 13th Amendment, like there's like literally like a loophole that like still allows slavery if people are imprisoned. And guess what? Black people make up 40% of the prison population, despite once again being only 13% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that black people are like 3 times as likely to commit crime. I think that what it is that they're 3 times as likely to be arrested because like that allows for like the continuation of like slavery.
To me, it depends on how you're raised and who you're raised by and where you're from.
Yeah, so we agree then. It isn't caused by the color of your skin. Being a bad person is not caused by the color of your skin. Then why are they 3 times as like basically they're 3 times likely to get arrested because it's in a racist system that is meant to like continue using their labor for free.
Also,
Yeah,
even if you disregard that, like, why it's inherently racist to be like, I think that black people are inferior. Like, that's duh. Like, it's racist. And that is a sentiment carried over from slavery, that groups of people are inferior. Like...
Oh, here. Thank you so much, Anna.
Either way, it's because of racism.
Here, I will share the link in our stream chat.
It's already there.
Oh no, I meant by like our stream chat. I meant like in like the chat of our stream. So like people like Mirage Leonardo can read it. So do I think that burning everything to the ground like
Antifa? You know that Antifa just means anti-fascist?
Wait, and also, do I think that burning everything down to the ground will change anything? I don't know, but it already has fucking changed things. You have to realize like it's already changed things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, already the cop has been arrested. One of the cops who did it has been arrested. Riots are like wow, you really think that by throwing British tea in the harbor you're gonna get anything done?
Yes.
You're just destroying property for no reason. Wow.
First of all, the destruction of property, a lot of it was started by police to make people of black people look bad. Like the guy who destroyed the AutoZone was proven to be a cop. Like, a lot of this stuff is being done so black people get the blame. Like, thing is being started. Like, if it doesn't serve the community that is protesting, what makes you think that they're supporting it? Like, they're trying to get like a better like station for their people. Why would they make it worse? Like, they're not fucking stupid as much as you would like to believe that.
Who's not stupid?
Leo?
Yeah.
Oh, he said who's not stupid.
Oh, black people.
Yeah.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. Here.
I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone is. I mean, unless you're like, well, I'm labeled as it.
I didn't mean you specifically. I meant
okay.
like people that are like against
Yeah.
black people, you know.
But like I have a feel like what's the difference between like this? Like what's like the genuine like what's the difference between like this and like you know like the you know like the Tea Party and like this and like
You want me to explain that? Because
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
explain that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the difference is there was a tyrannical government that was increasing taxes that was not meant to be increasing taxes,
Wait,
and then they were disowning. Hold on.
No,
And then they were
just to them.
Oh, okay. And then they were disowning us basically as British people when we were claiming that we were British people, and then they were saying that we basically were not. The difference is now we do not have a tyrannical government. I would argue.
Tyrannical.
I'll explain again. But
tyrannical is
right
subjective.
now we do
I just
not
want to
have.
tyrannical is a subjective term. Yes, it literally is because the fact that there were loyalists is like means that it was not objectively tyrannical. Like there are people who are loyalists to America right now, and there are people who are against it. The fact that there are people, and that's exactly how it was. Like the fact that they were loyalists, the fact that there were people who lived here who fought for the British Army, like during that, literally proves that it was not objectively tyrannical.
I'm saying the British government had a tyrannical opposition on it.
What?
I'm saying that the British government had a tyrannical opposition on us. Basically, they were tyrannical leaders.
Position?
And also, wait, seriously, are you also talking about, like, you know, like, taxation without representation?
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, what do you think about, like, you know, like, the fact that, like, you know, like, the line in predominantly black areas, like, the line to vote is, like, hours longer than the line is to vote in, like, predominantly white areas?
I don't agree with that.
It's like a suppression of the ability to vote. Is that not
taxation? If you can change that, then that would be nice.
Is it not taxation without representation? Because, like, people without, like, the ability to, like, if you don't have the ability, like, to participate in your, like, you know what it is, like, it's just like, it's like a soft block on being able to, like, vote. Because, like, if you're, like, you know, like, if you're, like, in, like, that area, like, you know, like, the only people who can, like, afford to wait in, like, 7-hour lines are people who don't have, like, wage slavery jobs, which, like, the majority of, like people of color, like, have. Because, like, you know, like, they're more, you know, like, there's, like, a massive wealth gap.
If you truly want to vote, you don't have to wait in one place. You can move to a different place.
No, like, you have to vote at, like, specific, like, polling stations. You have to, like...
No, yeah.
You have to, like,
no, not here.
Where?
Not where I am.
Not where are you?
Florida.
In, like, 90...
In mine, I can go to, like, 4 different places.
Okay, so that's 4 different places, but you have to realize, though, like, a bunch of them are cut up in black communities, so, like, there's, like, fewer polling stations. Like, you know, like, 700 polling stations in Texas have been removed, like, since, like, 2012. Here, we're gonna have another guy who agrees with Jean join us.
What's it?
His name is Sen Bapiro.
Okay.
Thomas, would you like to join the conversation? This is a discussion. This is like a roundtable.
I mean, right now it's already 2-on-1.
No, this isn't like 2-on-1. This is like a roundtable. It's gonna be a roundtable discussion once.
All right. I mean, yeah.
I think that there's a huge distinction on, like, e-taxes and people being fucking murdered. So, like, I think that, like, if you can justify the Tea Party, I think you can justify what's happening right now.
The only reason why... Go ahead, sorry.
Especially since a lot of the like and which I think is if directed properly, it's not a bad thing. It's not violence because violence is inflicted on people, and that's what people are protesting against. Um,
Yeah, you cannot be in my
Holy shit,
opinion, you
what
cannot be violent to property.
yeah, like this is violence against a person being protested. If someone is like about to kill someone that you care about a lot, or like literally just like a person, versus um breaking your car window. Like I think like you can replace your car window. It might be a hassle, it might be kind of expensive, but there's a difference in your car window broken and someone being fucking killed.
Okay, Send
Mhm.
Puro is now gonna join us. Also, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I mean, like, no, yeah, like the CNN sign in Atlanta's already been fixed, but like there, like basically, like there was like a tweet this morning that was like, oh, they've already cleaned up all the graffiti off the CNN sign. There's never gonna be like a sign. There's never gonna be like a thing where it's just like, oh, we already revived George Floyd. Like that's never gonna happen.
no, I don't think it can.
But, yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
won't. That's the end thing.
All right, so now,
I would. Okay.
now we have two conservatives, so now we can call this a roundtable discussion.
All right. I mean, adding on to that, I don't even think we have to weigh the value of a human life against that of property.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the value of the systematic change that could and
Oh, yeah.
likely will happen, that will hopefully last, and save other lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who said that, bro? Oh, where do you stand on this then?
I don't know. I'm gonna just listen for a bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Just
Fair
pop
enough.
in if I.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, like, the general idea of what we're discussing is that, oh, so wait, never mind. Somebody else talk. I'm going to read Miss Mirage Leonardo's newest thing.
So essentially we were talking about, as the title says, are the protests in America beneficial? Are they justified? We talked about how, like, the point we were just talking about is what is defined as violence or whatever. Like, you can't replace a human life, but you can replace like property. So in essence, if you're working towards like someone's like people's lives, that like it's justified. That's what I said.
Imagine
And we're
simping.
also
Wait, I was
talking
supposed to say,
about,
imagine simping for Walmart, though.
yeah,
Like,
that's not great. And we're also talking about how Black people are disproportionately represented, whether that's in crime statistics, they're overrepresented because they're more likely to be pulled over. They're underrepresented with the vote, things like that.
they have taxation without representation. How would you like to hold up to the idea that they have taxation without representation? John, so basically you were saying that like basically like one of the reasons that it was like reasonable for like Black people, one of the reasons that it was like one of the reasons that it was reasonable for us or like for the United States to revolt against the British was because there was taxation without representation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it any different for African Americans? Like, should they not revolt against white people because like they literally have the exact same thing? Like, should they not revolt against the government?
How do they have taxation without representation?
So can we agree that Black people are taxed?
I think everyone is taxed.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that. Also, wait, Sen, your computer's a little bit loud. Could you like either turn down
my
your
bad. Hang on, let me turn down my
sensitivity?
Let me,
Yeah, no, yeah, if you turn down your
I'll
sensitivity, it should be
don't
fine.
worry about it.
It's okay, don't worry. But like, so Black people, like they are underrepresented. Like like literally like up until like the 1960s, like there were like codes in like like half the states or something like that like literally made it impossible for Black people to vote. And even since then, there's still been a lot of things that have been passed, like Black people are like much more likely to be like like given like a criminal, like be like charged with like something with a criminal charge and be unable like to pay for it, and this has caused for them to not being able this is like cause like to them not being able to vote because like there's like a thing that like if you're a felon you cannot vote. Um, you know, the destruction of like polling stations in a lot of like black places, like like if you cannot like like the reason that there are lines is not because like people are stupid and like or like oh here are 3 other polling locations that we could go to, but let's only go to this one that has a 7-hour line. Like like people aren't like going out of their way to do that. And also in a lot of polling places they're now doing things called provisional ballots that the state does not have to accept. And these
What
are
does
being
that
done in,
all
like
entail?
this amounts to the fact that black people are not actually getting like their voices heard in our democracy.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore are being taxed without being represented. And have responded in a pretty proportional way to that the Americans did in 1776. And I hate fucking like I think that the black people would hate I think that people in general would hate me saying that it's a patriotic thing that they're doing, but on the DL like it's pretty much what America did.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
little bit.
like in the
I'll
Declaration.
explain why it's different again, but go ahead.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
No, like, I just want to hear like Shirley just like explain like why is it like actually different, like and like like I think that like the word tyrannical is like so subjective. Like here I will Google the word tyrannical right now. Let's read the definition of it, and then
The Declaration of Independence literally said like you have the right to dissolve political bonds if a government isn't serving you. I think that we can say like for sure like if the police who are killing black people disproportionately are well in general just killing people unjustly, I think that's a miscarriage of justice on behalf of the government.
Yeah, and was it not
So
the purpose
we
of
do
the
have
second
the right.
amendment? Was it not the purpose of the Second Amendment to protect us from the government
Hey,
if
yes,
it became
sir.
tyrannical?
I'm not really talking about the Second Amendment. I'm talking about the Declaration.
No, I know,
Like that's when the started.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like
Like,
isn't like the
which one
purpose like
about it,
of the
but, like-
Second Amendment to help us though? Like so like like shouldn't it be the Second Amendment right of people who are getting killed by like the police like to like of like of like people like to bear arms in like a well regulated militia against the government? Jean?
That's if the government is being oppressive and sending in military force against them.
That's literally what's
No,
happening.
you
They've
just
literally
said-
mobilized the National Guard.
Yeah, I would too.
But you wait.
No, you
Wait,
want me to
no,
go
I
back
was
to the
just
Boston?
saying. So wait. So you said if the government is being oppressive and sending the military in on them, it is their right to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The government is sending the military in on them,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't think
Literal
it's their right
force-
to then form a militia against the government right now.
I never said that. I said that it is.
Oh, so it is their right to do that then, right now.
Yes.
So if
That's what the Second Amendment is for.
so if that militia takes form of like like causing of like like rioting like was done during like the War of Independence,
Mhm.
so then isn't it valid? And also, Mirage, I literally never said that the Declaration of Independence was the Second
Talking
Amendment.
about different things.
Yeah,
I
we
was
were talking
saying
about different
that-
things. I was talking about something completely different.
The point I was making is that the Declaration of Independence is way before the Bill of Rights. Like that's what started it all.
Yeah, and I was saying that it was further than backed up by the Bill of Rights.
Holy shit.
Banned. Don't worry. Sorry. No, don't worry. That's banned.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's gonna be a ban for me, dog. Also, here's the definition of tyrannical: exercising power in a cruel or arbitrary way. That sounds like pretty subjective to me.
Oh, first transphobic
I mean,
comment.
not really. If a
Cruel is
government is going
definitely
in, and
subjective.
if government is going in, if they're shooting up people just because they want to, and they're doing it in a not so nice way, I'm pretty sure that's not subjective.
They are arresting like journalists at will. I mean, there was the one.
Oh yeah,
guy,
they shot one in
you
the
know,
face.
Obviously. Yeah, I mean, these things have escalated in most cases, not on the part of the protesters escalating things, but on the part of tear gas, which is a very nice escalator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would argue that is tyrannical.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think what either side is doing right now is good, in my opinion.
Both sides bad.
Okay.
No further explanation.
Both sides are hurting people, so it makes no sense to keep going.
okay, but you have to realize though, like, like the people who went to protest. Like, here's the thing: I went to a completely peaceful protest. Anybody who was like trying to start shit up, like basically like both the police and the activists were like, no, let's not start shit up. I went to a protest. I will I will dox where I went because there were thousands of people who went there. So I went to it was in Newark, New Jersey, and it was completely peaceful. It was completely peaceful. Anybody who tried to start shit was like like they were like like told, hey, don't start shit. When the cops go out of their way to bring people like to harm's way, like when like the cops are like aggressives and aggressors, it is the right of like like those who are like being attacked to like defend themselves, in my opinion.
Building off of what Benji said, like there was it was literally like 30 seconds. Like this guy went up on top of a car. He stood on a car. And then the protesters were like, hey, come down. Like that's not cool. And then like he came down and they wiped the car off. And another incident wasn't like fixed, but a bunch of these like white kids were like destroying shit. And a black woman who is like this is like supposed to be a protest for like black rights and liberation. There was a black woman who was like, hey, stop doing that. Like, not violence comes into it, which it's or like destruction comes into it. It's not because people want to. Like, people don't want to start breaking shit.
Yeah. Also, here, wait.
So
Also, wait, I just want to say we know some. We actually have somebody on the stream who was at a protest that like got a little bit violent while they were there. So, Sunny, would you like to like talk a little bit about that?
Really quickly, I'm sorry. I've been waiting to speak about this, and then I got a little bit far off. But back again to like the point about like comparing it to like the Boston Tea Party and like the whole like no taxation without representation thing. I think that you can make a valid argument that like for years black people in America have been unfairly taxed without representation, from like old Jim Crow laws in more like segregation era to like almost like revamped Jim Crow laws with the war on drugs and like kind of what you said, Benji, with like gerrymandering and like separating like making it really hard to like access voting. Yeah. And it's just like in all those subtle ways, it makes it so much harder for black people to vote in America than white people. So I think that that would be a fair and just comparison to me. Yeah. So that was just my comment.
Right, so Sean, sorry, I don't. Hey, Sean.
no, you're fine.
I'll let you respond now. I'm sorry. Like I don't mean to like dogpile here.
Oh no! You guys are fine. You guys are fine. You guys are making good points. So difference between I'm gonna go back to it again. The difference between the Boston Tea Party. Yeah. Difference between the Boston Tea Party and what's happening right now is the difference between the destruction of property then and now is then it was the government's property. Now they're not destroying the government's property. Not a lot of it anyway. They're trying to with like cop cars and stations and all that, and that's the government's property. However, when you go into a Target, when you go into other people's houses, when you go into other privately owned businesses, that's when I have a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll make one point. There was an affordable housing complex in Minneapolis burnt down. I don't think that a black person who this group like tends to be lower income because of like we all know America's history. So like a black person is not going to do that, and we already have evidence of cops like infiltrating and fucking shit up when they're not supposed to be, when that's not like what black protesters and people that are truly standing with black people want to happen. Like that's not what they want. They want people to look bad and for shit to be justified, the shit that they do to black people and other people of color.
I completely agree with that, but I just had one question. Did you say that the stuff destroyed at the Boston Tea Party was government property?
No, yeah, that's not government property.
India company.
Yeah.
I couldn't
from, like,
hear what you said.
the East India Company. They were like a tea company.
Mhm.
They had like a monopoly on tea, but they weren't
Yeah, you're
part
right.
of like the British government. Like it wasn't government owned tea or goods that was being sent to them. It was from like an independent large corporation, which is still again kind of comparable to like what's happening, especially now with like what happened to that one Target that was like
I think they
kind
were
of
like partially subsidized by the government, but like it wasn't government property.
Mhm.
They were owned pretty much by the government. They were basically told what to do, what not to do by the government.
So wait. So I have questions though. So
Go
I have
ahead.
a question. Is it not subsidizing when the government helps pay for that target to install CCTV?
I mean, that's their CCTV.
But like, would that not be like
Target was funding the police CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
so then they're attacking the source of income for the police, like just like kind of like attacking, just like sort of like attacking the T was attacking the source of income for
Yeah,
the cops.
because
Wait, no,
in
for
American
the, for the
Revolution,
British, for the British. Fuck, sorry, my
yeah, the British
brain rot.
were taking the sales tax on the tea. That was like the money that they made off of it. So it's like the same thing.
I would argue to say that the government is not making any money off of CCTV, but okay.
America's biggest export is defense equipment.
Also,
I agree.
people literally, like the police, literally have arrest quotas. It's not that like, oh, I see something going wrong. I'm gonna fix it. Like this is not even law enforcement. This is I am going to pin drugs on someone.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 21 Jump Street, you know. Like law enforcement, it's I need to arrest people.
Not always, but yes, in some instances it is, and I disagree with that as well. I think that shouldn't be the way.
But some instances is still too many. Like
Oh yeah, I agree.
This is a system that profits off of arrests.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because they make money off of it.
Yeah,
So
if they make money,
is that
off
not
of
tyrannical?
Arrests,
It is.
if this is the aim of an organization to make money off of arrests, then people are going to fall in with that goal. Like there's no way for it to not be that way. Like you can't just trust people to not be like, I need to make money. Like that's not a thing. Like people are going to do what benefits it. Like it's not right.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I think that it goes down to the smaller forms of government, basically the states, and that's their problem. I think it's the whole nation's problem actually, but they're the main cause of it for not doing something about it basically. Yeah, I don't think it's the whole government as a whole. I think it's just sections of it that don't do their job properly.
Well, the president just to shoot people who are looting, which shooting is a lot different than looting and it comes from white supremacy rhetoric. Shooting, that's like literal human lives. Looting is like, oh, I broke a window, like I stole a TV, whatever. Like it's not the same.
If someone was coming into my shop and stealing my property, then I would shoot them because they were on my property.
Then why is it the job of the police to do it as well? Like, you know, like, wait.
It's the job of the police to arrest them, not shoot them.
So then, why are the police shooting them?
Yeah, like why did
would you say that it is tyrannical of the police to do that?
In a way, yes, but where are they shooting them?
Well, like, okay, well, if you're saying in a way yes, then therefore, like, that proves that tyrannical is subjective, because, like, something that is objective cannot be kind of, it has to be yes or no. So saying it's like, therefore, we've already just proved that, like, it's kind of subjective then.
No, it is. It is tyrannical, but
Okay, so it
it
is
goes
tyrannical.
like, back to the thing like I said.
And so like you're saying,
It goes
if
back
the
to the
government is
thing
being
like I said.
tyrannical, it is the right of like the people like to like rise up against the government, right?
Small governments, yes, not the whole government.
Okay, well then that's what people are doing in like places where like they're rising up against like the small like you know like the local police. The police
Yes,
are
but the police aren't going in and just shooting people. You know,
well they
they're
are
spraying them
now.
with
They
pepper
kind of
spray,
are.
which again,
Shooting them with rubber bullets
where?
is like with shooting them like literally everywhere.
I'm
Dude.
talking about lethal rounds, not talking about them. Rubber bullets can be lethal. Depends on where you
The
shoot them.
police aren't
But I'm
going
talking
there.
about
The
actual.
police aren't going them to attack them. Yes, they are. They're using pepper spray. I mean the police aren't shooting them. Yes, they are. They're using rubber bullets. I didn't mean like that. I meant like you know like that's what it sounds like. I didn't mean like that. I meant with lethal bullets. Oh, like they're using wooden bullets
I
in some
didn't
place.
say. I didn't mean. I said that they're going in there with pepper spray, and they're not going in there with lethal rounds. And then you said that they're going in there with rubber bullets, and I said then that's not lethal. It depends on where you shoot them, where it's lethal, but they're not considered lethal.
How about wooden bullets? I'd consider those pretty. I'd consider those reasonably lethal. I'd probably consider them maybe about as lethal as a 22.
Yeah, it depends on where you shoot them again.
Well, yeah, but like just like the fact that like you're opening up on like your own civilians, like whether or not like somebody does or not die, in my opinion, is like.
Oh no! I
is
think
relevant.
I think that's stupid. I mean, unless somebody is destroying people's property and people are saying, "Hey, these people are destroying my property," type of thing, come and basically take care of them,
Like,
and they won't back down, and they're saying to stop, and they're not backing down, then they're going to get a rubber round in their leg, or even in their back.
Oh god, guys, Catch My Load is here. Remember him from the other debate? I guess we're gonna have. I guess we should do a round table. We should make this more of a round table because I really don't like the fact that this is just like a one-on-one sort of thing. This should be.
It's all right.
Like
I don't mind it.
Like, this is a round table until I decide that until I decide if one team is like just like if the other team just becomes like Nazi propaganda, then I'm not going to allow that here. But like I do actually want to
Why
allow like
not?
fair conversation.
because Nazi
I'm
propaganda.
just kidding.
I think I'm like 85% sure he was joking at this point.
85%
Okay.
sure. Wow.
You can never be 100% sure of anything,
Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah,
except for that the
come
Krill
on,
stream is the best stream on Twitch, and if you were
Say things about Nazi propaganda, I will take you seriously. Like, I don't joke about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
fair enough. All right, here. If anybody is in the general on my Discord, I will. If anybody is in the general and I like trust you decently.
There you
All right, welcome Catch My Load to the Krill stream.
How you doing?
We're doing well. Some of us here, I would say, at least two of us here protested today.
Yeah, they're protesting in my area. I guess soon or now. I'm not going there to protest. Like, no. I support the protesters as long as they don't start rioting and looting. Then that's what I don't support you.
Yeah.
So,
Totally agree.
can you tell us why you're against that?
Rioting and looting because you destroy. Because let's say you went to, like, I guess in Minnesota or Minneapolis, they destroyed the Aldi's. I work at an Aldi's, and a lot of the Aldi's where I work at is 95% black employees. So if you destroy this Aldi's, you'll be putting black people out of job. Also, there's a pandemic going right now, and it's not just black people that need jobs; it's everyone that needs jobs. So I don't think you destroying your own community and what you need in your community is a wise idea. And convictions of sorts don't happen in 2 days. For when people heard about the George Floyd thing, so
Yeah, no, we weren't asking for conviction. We were asking for even an arrest, and he didn't get arrested until the riot started. And then another thing, wait. So you said like, was the Aldi's that you work at destroyed?
no, I was saying one of the ones in Minneapolis was.
But
Someone
wait,
I
told me.
definitely understand your concern for things like small businesses. Like, there have been some issues with that, but
I
with
don't care for
corporations
small or
like
large
Aldi-
business. Yes.
like
Corporate-
Aldi,
here, okay, yeah, we need to let everybody have time to speak. We need to let
Are you about
everybody
to
have time
diss Aldi's? Aldi's actually,
I'm
I
not dissing
don't
Aldi's.
like
I'm
it.
saying,
We're
be quiet. Catch My Load. We're gonna do like a back and forth. We're not gonna be doing like like a just like interrupting.
okay, for example, let's say Aldi's. I'm actually going to use Target as an example because that was the one that actually got looted, and for like a good reason. They have a huge budget, like billions of dollars, to cover any kind of damages. like they cover shoplifting, they cover larceny, they cover like natural disasters. Corporation with a small
So
business, I definitely understand your concern, and to that I have to say a lot of property destruction has been instigated by police because they kind of suck. And also people are white supremacists that have infiltrated, um, and there are people that just don't have black people's interests at heart, and those people come in, and that's when it becomes an issue.
All right, load. Continue, or somebody else. This is a round table, not like a
I
one-on-one.
would, yeah, I would like to say I don't care if it's a small business or big business. You should be going there causing disruption. Doesn't matter to me just because they could cover the cost. I could care less. The excuse of the whites, maybe white supremacists are doing something now. Like
Wait, wait,
I
wait. So
don't.
I have a question for you. Then catch my load. What's your
As a
opinion on the?
black man, also I like the police. I don't particularly. I never had any issues, even when I had police involvement when I was 16. Cause I did 7 years. First offense and nothing happened. Had a little probation. It was they had me on camera and everything. So I don't know.
Wait, so
I never had issues with the police.
So I have a question for you though. What do you think about the Boston Tea Party?
I don't historically know too
Okay.
much about the Boston Tea
Okay,
Party.
never mind then. Fair enough. I shouldn't expect just everybody to know about the Boston Tea Party because that's like I don't know, just like the Boston Tea Party was like a riot that was like held that basically like allowed America to become a country. Like that's and it involved like the
Uh-huh.
destruction of property and
Well, we're
destruction.
already. What was this
No, that
riot
happened
for
like that happened
someone?
like 3 years before
Yeah,
we were
but
born.
I'm talking about drawing the correlation between that, the Boston Tea Party, and this. Like, I don't know if you were going down that path, but
Well, maybe we are going down that path now.
I don't see how those two. You're saying they made it a country. This is
No,
a guy. Now you have the why. So now that he's arrested, now should the riots continue or
there's
should it just
another
be
three
I
police
would. I
officers that should
agree
be
with
arrested.
protest. I agree. I agree with protest. I agree with the protest. I agree 100%. That cop is gonna get fucking caught. Like
What about the
he
other three
fucked up,
cops
man.
that stood by and let it happen?
Huh?
Modern
What
hippie
you
is
say?
the queue.
Modern hippies in the queue.
Moving.
Okay, let's move them. Yeah, you can move
But I
them.
also think like yeah, I think also I was thinking about this at work. Yeah, it would be because you think about a military officer does something right away. It depends on the severity of something. They have to analyze it. They don't just get kicked out of the military or I don't know if how they get arrested right away by certain actions. It has to be something super like maybe this, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. Versus like I was thinking civilian versus different type of things that like law enforcement and military involvement.
All right, let's let other people talk because I've like realized like it's like literally just been like me, Leo, hippie, and me, Leo, Jean, and um, me, Leo, Jean, and Load. So if anybody else has anything they want to say,
And you guys keep bringing up the Boston Tea Party, so I was like, you know what, I don't know too much about it. Well, I know like the basics, what you learn in school, right? I don't know really everything about it, so I just Googled it real fast. It's just the first thing that comes up. I just want to see what you guys think about this. Basically, it says the British East India Company reported about 10,000 pounds worth of damage. Blah 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 blah. This much tea. And it says the only thing that was destroyed was the tea and a broken padlock, which was personal property, which was promptly replaced the next day by the Patriots. So basically, whoever's destroying something that's not a blow to the British and something that's personal property or whatever was replaced. Just want to see what you guys think about that.
So actually, there was an anarchist library. Whatever. There was a library. It's a small owned library, like a local one that had a window broke. Like their front doors were broke. I think there were some books stolen as well, or not books. It was cash. So, and they were like, okay, so we're not going to call the cops. Just if you guys have, if you guys want to like spend your money on books, like this is an anarchist library. They have a lot of emphasis on mutual aid and distrust of police and coming together. So people did start to buy books because there's an interest in helping out the community. Like people want to help people. It's not like people don't want to help people. Like we can do a lot on our own.
I think people can help people if they want to help people, but if they don't want to help people, then they won't help people, which we're basically seeing a lot of.
A lot of people do want to help. Like this bookshop was literally just like, hey, could you help us out and like buy a couple books maybe? I don't want to endanger the community more than it has to be, so I'm not going to call the cops. There was another instance of a small loan, I think it was like an Indian restaurant, that was partially destroyed, and they were like, yeah, this is more important than our like small business. And like it really sucks that their business was destroyed, but like in the end, like first of all, like a lot of those fires that were started in Minneapolis, they weren't set by people. They were set by like, well, cops are people, but like barely.
Hot take. Please.
But like cops as an institution, people that are cops destroying shit, so black people would take the flak. Like, do you think that they're gonna want people targeting them more than they already have? Like, people are pitching in with each other. I donated like $40 today, and I'm literally a sophomore in high school. Like, I want to help people, and I know loads of people who want to as well. They may not be able to donate, they may not be able to go to protests, but have expressed like, hey, is there anything that I can do? They've like found resources, they've signed petitions, they've retweeted stuff. Like, there's not a lack of compassion.
So then what do you say to the businesses that aren't getting help?
The businesses that aren't getting help are like largely like basically just like Target, and like, you know, like people can like say like, oh, I feel equally as bad for a big business as I feel for like a small business, but like, you know, like what you've seen, like I'm guessing like I don't mean to like put like ideas in your guys' brain, but like what's your guys' like opinion on CNN?
Just a second.
No, I'm mostly asking. I'm asking the conservatives.
Fake news.
To be honest, I mean, I wouldn't just proclaim that as fake news. I mean, personally, I don't agree with any of the sources that are out there like that. I usually look at statistics and stuff like that on my own. I don't go off of any specific channel or anything like that. So
you'd still say that you have like a distrust of CNN, that you don't really care that much about them?
Yeah, same thing with Fox News. Everything always pushes their agenda.
I'm not saying that, but basically, like, so.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know,
would you say I wouldn't want their stuff to get burned down.
No, like, would you like? So you guys, so did you guys, or like, did you not have like a problem with like, you know, like, don't you guys like? What do you guys like? Do you guys have like a problem with like, you know, like CNN, like their like stuff getting like graffitied, and then like the day later it was like ungraffitied, like, you know, like it was just like cleaned up.
Yeah, I have a problem with it. That shouldn't have been graffitied.
Yeah. So wait. You say
it was cleaned up? So
yeah, it was cleaned up. That's our point, though. See, the big companies did get help. The other companies did get help.
They're gonna clean up a burned billion.
How do you the buildings that are getting burned? You're okay. Like McDonald's does not need any help.
Yeah, like places. There was an AutoZone that was destroyed, a corporation. The Target is a big one. Like, they don't need help.
So then what do you say to all those people that just lost their job for about, 3 months?
Those people already lost their job, like, but like, what do you say to like the 30 million people who lost their jobs during like the pandemic?
Yeah, but that's a pandemic.
I was about to say. That's like something that you can't actually like cause.
You can't control.
I mean, like, one of them was actually caused by the people. One of them was just, you know, an unfortunate event.
Yeah.
Well, the pandemic was actually worsened considerably by the government. Also, I have an example. Sephora is a really huge makeup like franchise or like store or whatever. Like it's a huge change. Like they sell really fucking expensive makeup. They should be able to provide some kind of compensation to their employees, but there was like a half-assed phone call firing everyone. Like all of the retail people, they were fired with a half-assed phone call. Like
Yep.
These corporations aren't looking out for people. The difference between like I want to stop people being killed and like pandemic guess I'll just like fire everyone, even though it's clear that we have the means to give some sort of like aid. Like
They would not want to spend the money, which I can totally understand as a business, as well, used to be business owner. However, the government would usually pay if you file for unemployment. The government will pay for that and will help you along with that. Like not always enough, I would argue. And I think that it's stupid that the businesses don't always pay their employees, or like they just instantly fire them because of something, because of like a pandemic or whatever. That's stupid. They shouldn't be able to do that, or they shouldn't do that. But that's their right, and they should be able to do that if they want to.
I think it's like a third. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a third of people that have applied to employment and have not been able to get it. Like unemployment rates are at a record fucking high. Like
Oh yeah, because of the pandemic. Before that, they were at a record low.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying prior to the pandemic, but these companies, they should have some kind of loyalty to their workers, right? Like, I think you would agree, like a good business would have some sort of concern for the people that have served, some people who have served them for literal years, minimum wage, not being treated very nicely. Like we all know retail jobs suck ass.
Yeah, I work in retail.
Yeah, wait. If there's one thing we can agree on, it's fuck retail jobs, right? Can we all agree on that?
Yeah. So these people are being laid off, fired by companies that are fucking loaded. Like they could pay these people. They're just choosing not to.
Could
Yep.
maybe it depends.
It's their money. It's their right to be able to fire those people. You need a actual
Getting them that money.
like reason for it, which the reason was a pandemic type of thing. But yeah, I think that is wrong. But it should be allowed since it's their right.
Don't you think that laws should injustices? That should be based off of what's just and what's not, right?
It depends. If you're inhibiting on freedom, then no. Because then it's kind of subjective to what's actually just and what's not.
Wait, so I have a question. I know this is like going back like over a complete 180. I'm just like I'm just still really mad about like the whole like tyrannicalness is like objective. How can just be how can just be subjective when like the opposite of something that is just is something that is tyrannical? How can tyrannical be objective but like you know like just be subjective?
That's not the exact opposite.
What is the opposite of like what is the opposite of tyranny then?
I would argue to say that is freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom
fuck
to do
Walmart.
whatever
Thank
you
you,
want.
chat. That's based as hell. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Whoa. Leave Walmart out of this, man. I like Walmart.
What do you like about... Okay, you can like Walmart
I'm
individually.
joking. I haven't been to Walmart in a thing. I don't care about Walmart.
Yeah, so...
It don't hurt me.
Wait, no, wait. So you don't care about Walmart, right? Why do
I don't
people care?
care. Is in the point, like, I don't shop there or anything like that, but I would not want it to be burnt down.
But, like, what
or
if they were hurting
like
your
that.
community? What if, like, a Walmart was, like, hurting your community?
How is Walmart hurting my community?
It, like, takes away...
give me
It offers prices that like, cannot be beat by, like, local, like, you know, like, that, like, by, you know, like, citizen-owned jobs.
It's capitalism.
That's not good,
I mean,
though.
they also have like cheap ass shit that doesn't last you 5 days. So.
Yeah.
But that's not a good thing though. Like that isn't like a good thing. That is
yeah,
like
so like it makes people want to shop somewhere else.
not really. Then why is Walmart?
So a lot of people.
Why does
a lot
Walmart?
of-
Why do the owners
I
of
don't know.
Walmart
It's
have
just more
$30 billion?
convenient. I mean, I usually prefer
people
more
can't
quality
fucking
stuff, so I
afford
don't
something that's
usually
not
like
Walmart
shopping
or
at
Walmart.
Walmart.
But a
But
lot
a
of things.
typical-
The Walmart.
Whoa, okay,
typical-
everybody's speaking over each other.
Whoa.
Don't make me
But
don't make me force Thomas to become like the muter and unmuter of everybody.
But a typical
or
like poor
please don't.
person doesn't have the extra money to like spend on a quality product. That's why poor people tend to have poor diet or like just be obese because like they're consuming like shit that is cheaply made because they can't spend on the extra organic shit. And, like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, we went there. You remember
Also,
that?
fuck Whole Foods.
Yes, thank you. Fuck Whole Foods.
Yeah, no, yeah, wait, yeah. Fuck Whole Foods. Like we agree on these things.
You don't need Whole
Totally.
Foods to be healthy.
Wait, no, wait. I just want to bring up the.
Can we-
I just want to bring up. There's some really There's a really great thing I want to bring up. Remember when like we were talking about like gender, and then you were like what were like the seeds?
Oh,
what were the
Talking
seeds you
about
brought up?
me?
No, Catch My Load. He was talking about like some
Uh.
like seeds at Walmart. No, not Walmart. At Whole Foods. Like some Whole Foods. I can't remember what seeds they were. Cayenne seeds?
Cayenne.
No.
Organic cayenne pepper.
Yeah, I was talking about people buying. Like I was talking about like people analyzing like how to eat healthy versus like and thinking Whole Foods like Whole Foods like the first thing that clicks in their head. If I need to eat healthy, I need to eat Whole Foods. Like that is not how it works. Like or if you eat organic cayenne pepper versus cayenne pepper, like what the fuck? I was just like, what is that doing for you?
I just wanted to bring that up because I remember that is probably like the only minute of that debate, like that entire like debate where like he had me on that I just did not want to shoot myself in the head because I was like, wow, this is like mildly interesting at least, like, you know, I was like finally something like not boring where like it's just like, you know, like people are just like, I don't know, because like BC just like people were like wrong but like in like a boring way during that debate, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was all very circular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I go back to the thing?
Yeah, no, we can. I'm
junk
sorry. I
food
just
and,
wanted like a moment
obesity?
of relaxation, but yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, from my experience, it's cheaper to make homemade food, and homemade food is a lot healthier than even whatever anybody else eats. Honestly, I eat homemade food all the time. My parents used to own a restaurant, family-owned business, so I know a lot about that. But so that's what I eat, and like it's a lot cheaper to make homemade food than any other food, basically from a can, from whatever. And so like a lot of poor people actually eat homemade food. I would argue to say that literally just like a lot of the whole country is obese, not just strictly poor people, but also it depends on like I mean it goes so deep because like when you stop and think about it and you look at these movie stars and everything else and they have all this money and like they're looking good and everything else, when you want to look good, you're gonna look good, you know. You're not just going to get fat just from eating stupid stuff. If you're actually smart and if you want to eat good stuff, then you're going to eat good stuff. You just have to actually know how to do it.
Well, if you go to the store, okay.
Also, wait, I just want to say this conversation is like pretty off topic. So like, let's just get
It
like
is.
I'm saying like off
It's
topic.
pretty interesting though. Not even gonna lie, it's kind of interesting.
Okay, wait, how about we talk about it another night? How
Always
about we do this another night? Can we do like then like the nutrition roundtable another night?
Oh, that was a huge one. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
continue. I want to continue.
Yeah, totally different topic.
No, yeah, I just want to continue talking about like the George Floyd protests. I mean, I will say that, like, you know, actually
I'm
no.
gonna have to dip, actually.
Oh, rip. Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, good
It's been
Good night.
fun.
Oh yeah,
It's been a while.
it was nice
Right.
talking with you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's get right back into this.
Now we all gang up on you, right?
Yeah.
I guess I have a question. In what through what lens are is a Black Lives Matter so I obviously hear about all this, but like through what lens is like the Black Lives Matter trying to push the idea that white people commit more crime onto black people, or like the idea that just police brutality
it's like about like the fact that, like due to like police brutality would like lead like a lot of people to believe that Black lives don't matter because just like how fucking horrible, like like the situation is for them.
Okay, so we're just talking about police brutality.
Yeah, we're talking about like like yeah, this like isn't
Mm.
just like like this is like about like police brutality and about like how like like in my opinion rioting is like a very proportional response.
Yeah, I guess I guess like that's pretty much like substantiated. I mean, like there's the fucking New York stop and frisk, a lot of like just shit that police do that just back this all up. So
Yeah.
see, why not? Why not, right?
Yeah. Here, would anybody like to say why not riot? Here, I know that we have like 3 people here at least that would like that like have reasoning for not
Growing
rioting.
your own community,
Mhm.
putting people out of jobs. There's plenty of reasons to not riot and get hurt. Rioting, I don't think it actually maybe enforces people's ideas of certain races.
There's an old saying: two wrongs do not make a right.
A lot of
There's-
negatives it is rioting.
There's
Yeah.
also an okay, whatever. Also, here, wait. I saw Thomas's emoji moving. Does that mean that? Or I saw Thomas's like this Discord.
Oh yeah, no, that was a mistake.
Ah, dang it! I was hoping that Thomas.
But to be honest, I do sort of object to the two wrongs don't make a right, because we have
Mhm.
seen many times in history where two wrongs have made many rights.
Like when?
I mean, we can go back to Boston Tea Party. We could also go back to
Wait,
civil rights movements.
guys. Do you think that it was right for for Truman to drop the atomic bombs on Japan because it prevented the loss of So before we dropped bombs on Japan, we actually minted 1 million Purple Hearts because we thought that that's how many Purple Hearts we need to save all the people from like a ground invasion of Japan. Do you think that do you think that was like a right decision to make to nuke them?
I mean, it's difficult because then we're dealing with hypothetical lives, versus now we're seeing
Well,
like
no, but I'm like saying
lives
like lives were
concretely
like
being lost.
hypothetical lives were like like quote unquote like saved by doing it wrong.
I mean, it is a convoluted trolley problem,
Yeah, like
and like
two wrongs make a right.
like that's a little bit more yikes because it's
Oh
human
no, I am not
lives
of the
for
opinion that it was good.
human lives.
I do not think that it was good, but I was like talking to like people like who like I'm talking to people who I think would be like pro that having happened.
Yeah,
It's just
I mean,
like any time like there's a quote unquote peaceful protest, a Kaepernick thing, such as like Martin Luther King, it ends up to be like looked down upon by like the opposition, such as like he shouldn't be doing it at that point, or he shouldn't do it at now, or he shouldn't be like blocking the streets when it's peaceful. But when it gets to a
Well-
riot, it's like wait, like
that's if it fails.
We would
If it
rather have
fails,
it to
it's
be
obviously
peaceful.
looked down upon.
No, but like Martin Luther
If it succeeds, what lens do
Martin
we view
Luther
the civil
King
rights
killed.
movement on now?
Martin Luther
We
King
don't-
Jr. was killed and he protested peacefully.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
However, that was
if-
a different
if
time,
this
but
creates
yeah.
substantial social
But
change,
it's
I don't
kind of like
foresee in a few years.
overall
that
idea.
it'll be
They
viewed
just want to
negatively.
shed light on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it, man.
Oh, I was just saying that if this succeeds, it's not going to be viewed negatively as much as it is being viewed negatively now.
Oh yeah, possibly. I mean, that's with time, but
Yeah, I mean-
for those who are opposed to this, like who are opposed to the riots, or like just like even, okay, I can probably see like the small side of like being opposed to the riots because it might hurt like small businesses. I don't really care about corporations. I can probably see like that contention, but like the people who are totally against like the riot just in general, in full, like those people are probably like, I guess to put it like just like idiots.
Ooh.
In my point of view.
I mean, I do
wouldn't take
understand.
that far.
I do
Let us
understand
not
the
ad hom
fact
here.
that people
Let's
are
not ad hom here.
uncomfortable with.
Let's not ad hom here. Yeah, no, I understand.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
no.
not to him.
There's evidence. Oh yeah. There's evidence that the Ferguson organizers were intentionally killed. I wouldn't say that that's like I wouldn't like say like different time. That was a good point from the chat. Yo, Neil, you should totally get in voice. Just get in general chat, and then we can move you. If you want, you don't have to.
How much I care about these riots? I mean, chicken nuggies.
Anybody else getting like a $5 donkey vibe?
$5 donkey vibe.
A little bit, a
Thank
little
you.
bit.
Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say that I don't know. I mean, like, does anybody else have any other points that they want to bring up? Because I would like say like we've been talking about this now for like an hour and a half, and I'd say we've gotten in like a lot of good points.
I guess I could bring up the question as to like, is it valid to like talk about I guess white on black crime versus black on black, like black on white, like what, like, so that's because that's another thing that I just been seeing a lot.
A lot of wait. I'm sorry. You were breaking up a little bit.
Okay, so oh fuck, so like a lot of like other like the other situation I was talking about, like where like white on black crime versus like black on black crime. Does anyone know like really like where this like I guess to?
I mean, like you're still breaking
Wait.
up. Like I don't think that's like super
Wait, say
duper
again?
relevant. Yeah, no, yeah. I think you're breaking up a lot, man.
Oh,
Dude,
okay, I'm
just
sorry.
just a little bit at the end though. I caught most of it.
So like I was just asking the question as to like so the theme, so another theme that comes up was the other one that I was talking about, like the black on white crime versus white on black crime, and like what do any of you guys know where the statistics lies on that?
No, do you?
No, I was just, that was my question.
Last time, if I remember right, that I looked at it, it was black on black was worse than white.
No, I mean, I don't
think that's
know
super
much.
relevant to this though. I don't think that's like really relevant.
It's not.
To this. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's not.
pretty irrelevant.
I mean, but like
especially
if we're
considering we
talking
don't
like there's
necessarily
people that are like
do-
obviously bringing race, like for sure race into this because
Well,
they see Black Lives Matter movements and then they think like, oh, they're talking about race, not just brutality.
Well, yeah, but I think that these people understand. You guys all understand that, like Black Lives Matter is about like police brutality, not like saying like Black lives are the only lives that matters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess there's not much left to talk about.
Look at that,
Um,
guys.
At least for me.
Oh wait, here.
Wait, I had one more comment. I know that like a lot of people I've seen been saying like that protesters shouldn't be more violent, and I say violent in air quotes because I mean more like destruction of property-esque, which I don't
Which is
necessarily
based.
consider violent. But people are saying that protesters shouldn't get that way unless like the police kind of start it. Like if like the police attack, like fine, you can kind of retaliate.
Oh my.
But I just wanted to say that like I don't understand that argument because the police have already started it. They've already attacked and incited the violence by like just killing all of these like unjustly killing all of these people of color, and that's why these riots started. And I think that immediately causes tension and immediately warrants the use of like a little bit more force in these kinds of protests. I just thought that was relevant because in the one that I went to today, this might not be true, but from what I've personally seen, because I know there are a lot of people there and it was a little spread out at times. The first like big thing that happened was a police car was like destroyed and set on fire, and then like things started to just devolve from there. So I think a lot of people were like blaming them as being like the epicenter and like triggering more and more police violence because it did get kind of ugly. So I don't know. I just wanted to comment on that.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I would be out there protesting too if it wasn't for the riots and everything else. I would just not want to be in that predicament.
I mean, I was protesting in Newark today, and it was completely peaceful. It was sorry, my voice
Yeah.
cracked, but it was completely.
Yeah, a lot of Black Lives
it
Matter.
depends. Yeah, it depends on where you are.
And you know, the aggressors are like most often the police. Like that's most often like the aggressors. Like that's like literally been like shown in videos. Like the police has been like out like in like Louisville today. They were like destroying. They were like literally like they're here. I'm gonna show this video on my stream. I guess leave if you don't want to watch a video of like police like. Just, you know, if you guys are equally as, if anybody here is equally as triggered by the destruction of private property as they are by the destruction of human lives, then I guess leave because you're gonna see some serious destruction of private property here.
Is this like I don't know. This may have been the same video that I saw.
Is this the one of
But, yeah.
it's the one of the police destroying here, let's see, is this in my debate chat or is this
But maybe
my Zoom
not.
chat?
The one I saw was
Here's the one I'm gonna share.
yeah. The one I saw was one where it was a peaceful protest, and then it like very quickly.
Here's police.
destroying everything!
Here, I'm showing this on my stream so everybody who wants to see this can
You're
watch
gonna
this
take
on
the
my stream.
materials of us trying to peacefully protest!
I think the police being there a lot of times.
Yeah, it's the police. It's the police having destroyed. It's the police like destroying, like basically just like milk jugs and water that are like there for like protesters. There's also video of like police in like like in like Seattle like shooting like shooting like at like a crowd of people that are just like sitting there. Like like they're the ones who are the aggressors though.
Oh yeah. Did you see the one about the where there was a camera crew? I mean, a lot of the videos are of things happening to camera crews because that's
Yeah.
main people with cameras. But there was one with the camera crew, and then the police just like turned around and shot at them. Like nothing happened.
Oh
On the
yeah, I
camera
saw that
crew's
though. That was
side.
crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the rubber rounds, or it might have been. No, I think it was paintball. Or
Yeah, it was a paintball.
paint.
Right,
rounds.
load. You wanted to say something?
Have those people in the video that you just showed been confirmed officers? How did you see any badges or identification?
You're that a lot of them are like hiding their badges and identification, and also yes, they're confirmed officers because they were in front of a police vehicle. Like, oh wait, the video you're talking about. Oh yeah, a lot of officers are like wearing like plainclothes stuff. Here, I can prove to you that like police officers. If you watch later in, then the SWAT that they have a sign that says "State Police come in" to then like protect the people doing that. If you watch the entire video, you see that people that have. What do they call like riot shields that say state police on them, and I'm going to take somebody at face value if they have a riot shield that says state police and they're in state police riot gear. I'm going to assume that they are a state policeman.
I also think that police can create really hostile and antagonistic environments without like being necessarily physically violent or going after people.
That's facts, though.
Because I know for the protest that I was in, people were like marching down the street, and it kind of got to like a four-way intersection, and police like barricaded the end of one a little bit further down. So like by the time we realized that we were kind of stopped in a four-way intersection, and three of the ways were blocked off by the police, and it just seemed like it was like a situation that made everyone feel really uncomfortable and really uneasy. And especially like in a protest setting like this where people already are very scared and distrusting of cops, them just like standing around you like cornered like that, it just is like really scary and intimidating and uneasy, and it doesn't make anyone feel safe.
That's a really good point. Yeah. So like, and yeah, like we need to.
So-
I think that's something we need to address is like the power dynamic, like like the power dynamic between like cops and like non-cops, because like what like because they have power over us, like it is a lot more scary to have like one of them like in our face than like it probably is for them to have like us in their face, because like we're just like people, like we are not like cops, like we do not have like the ability to just like just like say you are jailed or like like kill them without getting fired.
Yeah.
And, like I don't carry tear gas on me, and I don't have like a pistol with me or like a baton or like
Yeah, like I was like,
Oh,
I was considering bringing a knife to the protest, but I was like, no, wait, if I get caught with a knife on me, that's illegal. So then I was like, oh, then I just won't bring one.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, if you get caught with a knife on you, it's illegal. Like they can like if you get caught with a knife, if I got arrested with like a knife on me, I would have been like like told that what I was like like I would have probably gotten like charged with like intent to assault or something like that.
Holy shit, Texas is so different than y'all.
I was about to say, just go to Texas. You can open carry there.
Bro,
That's
like,
fine.
Okay, so-
I carry a knife
I would feel
daily.
so. I would like to say I'd feel a lot less
Yeah.
safe protesting in Texas though, because then I also have to worry about. I'm going to be honest. Unless I'm in Austin, I'm not gonna feel that like comfortable like protesting there, because I'm pretty sure like yeah, like I don't know if there's been protests in Dallas, but I feel like I've heard something about just like shit being like pretty bad there.
Nah, it's not bad at all.
No, nothing's really happening here. That I've heard.
Oh well, in that case, that's even worse than in my opinion, because at least people aren't even like rising up against the police state.
Honestly, there's not much happening in Texas, even with the police. A lot of the police are nice. I'm from Texas and different parts
Yeah,
of Texas.
majority of the police that I've met pretty chill. I mean, except for this one dude, but besides him, most of them have been pretty chill.
I have a question. Are you black?
I
Me-
am.
me?
I am.
Okay. And you said that you were arrested though as well, right?
Yes, but I committed a crime. They didn't. They just put me in the cop car, put me to the police station, and I was released within an hour. Then I went to my thing. They gave me probation for 6 months, and that was it.
Yeah, but that's like a pretty like unique experience. Like a lot of people, like there's like like,
I've been pulled over by the cops for plenty of times too.
and you don't
Just don't.
you don't see
Nothing
it.
happens. No, but I don't get scared. Nothing happens. I was speeding once. He was just like, just slow it down. You're good to go. No ticket. I never gotten a ticket. Nothing. Nothing happens.
I know many people like that as well. I think it honestly depends on where you're from and where you are.
In a lot of places, I was born in Alabama. I lived in Virginia. I lived in Illinois, Chicago. I lived in Massachusetts. I currently live in Missouri. I lived in Florida. So
Yeah, makes sense.
a lot of places.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, live in Florida now.
But I mean, like, I think that
That's
like
why
for
I
every
can't
situation that
agree
you can
with
point
some
out,
of
like,
the
like for every like
left
time, okay, like here's the thing though, it's good that like the majority of like I'd say like if it happens enough that like we hear about it like every single day though, about like like cops like pulling over people like wrongfully, that's too much because like their job, like okay, if your job is to protect
But if you have
people,
a predetermined how you think about the cops and you start doing certain things
no,
like
but I'm saying
giving
those
them
like okay,
attitudes and stuff
if
like
like
that, when
300
you start doing things, you're gonna already have a predetermined mindset. Oh, they're just pulling
I'm
me
not talking
over.
about I'm not talking about a
I
predetermined mindset.
used to have that mindset though.
I'm not
I used
talking
to
about
have
that. I'm literally
mindset
not
when I
talking
was
about. I'm
younger,
talking about. I'm talking about like police. I'm talking about like people like unarmed people killed by police, which happened in like in 2018. I don't know the statistics for 2019. It happened in 2018. All but 9 days that year. So imagine if like so basically if 355 days. So okay, so let's imagine that like your job is to like let's imagine like like that your job is to make sure that a package gets somewhere. If 355 days that package out of a year that package didn't get there, you wouldn't still have a job.
Yeah. I worry more about things. I worry more about when I walked out my house to go to work today. You just hear pew 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 for 10 seconds straight. Pew pew pew, and yeah, who's doing that? My own community, just shooting. No riots. I look up on the thing. I think it was like a month later. A lady at a Family Dollar. I just moved to these apartments. Family Dollar killed midday.
Well, yeah, a lot
Today.
of that
What
is
was that? One. I think it was 1 p.m. midday, right afternoon. Someone pew pew pew, and like.
I mean, a lot of that is because of capitalism, though.
Yeah, I guess you blame it on capitalism, but
like for like creating that like relation between people, like
I guess.
Still blows my mind that you can't carry a knife. I use one like 3 or 4 times a week. That's insane. To me.
Yeah, no, like I mean,
yeah, no.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, like So now that you realize that these people can't even carry a knife, do you like see why they'd feel a lot more threatened then?
Yeah, that's why I'm like super pro 2A.
I mean, I'm not going to speak for. I mean, I don't know. Wait, actually, okay. I'm only going to speak for myself because I don't.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm only going to speak for myself here, but like I am personally pro Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you'd feel safer if you had the ability to like carry something like that.
And I'm only pro Second Amendment because under no pretext should the working class be disarmed.
I am too.
Yeah.
Kind of funny you said like you don't carry a baton because I carry a baton also. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I carry a knife and a baton.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you have to realize like I could understand
Yes.
being scared if somebody came up to you. Like like if with like a knife and baton, but can you imagine if somebody came up to you in riot gear with a baton, with a knife, with a gun,
Yeah.
with tear gas, and you were just like sitting in the street. You were just sitting in the street, and like they're destroying your water, they're destroying your milk, they're killing your people day in day out. Like you would be scared. You would want to rise up against them, and like fuck McDonald's.
What?
I'm sorry if McDonald's has to die for the freedom for like
Yeah,
for like true freedom.
I mean they got some pretty good hash browns though. Not even gonna lie.
Okay, fair enough. But like, okay,
But
what?
besides that, go for it.
Exactly. See, that's a really based statement. Like, like I mean, like,
Here to be based, man.
yeah, yeah. Oh, how it is to be based, Yeah. I don't know. I think we've actually come to a few agreements here.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that we can have this conversation. You guys are a lot better than the guys who I'm really glad that we had this conversation, because there was a conversation that I was like, I was gonna talk to these two guys who were like one of them was like, George Floyd isn't dead, and another one of them, and another one of them said that,
right now.
and another one said that he died of
Is he killing
drugs.
with Tupac and Hitler?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a rough take. That he died of drugs.
Yeah, and no, they were like, see, like the autopsy said he didn't die of asphyxiation, and I'm like, it's like saying that like somebody who was like shot and like bled out, it's like, oh, he died of hypoxia. Like, no, like, yeah, like he died of like,
he didn't die from a gunshot. He died from bleeding out.
no, he died from acute lead poisoning.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's also the fact that it was a preliminary autopsy.
No, yeah, and then furthermore, on top of that,
county
like, okay,
medical examiner
so like I will admit, yeah, he died of a heart attack, one that was caused by 9 minutes of trauma to the neck. Like, I'm sorry that you're, like, it's like, oh, I guess his body, like, he was meant to die if his body couldn't stand 9 minutes of like blunt force trauma to his neck.
Yeah, I mean, and also like like a third of that was after he was unresponsive. Like,
yeah,
it's sort of weird coincidence.
Oh, and then like a new video showed up today showing that he actually got beat up in the car as well. And then also like there's like some conjecture, like there's like some talk that it's possible that like, oh shit, like 5 people just got on. Thank you for watching. That's crazy. Damn, that shit's crazy. Aha. No, but like for real though, like there's also like some idea like like the police were actually like also, like injecting him with like drugs like that time, like it's like like, because like there was no evidence that he was on drugs, yet like a lot of the preliminary autopsy said like like combined with any possible toxicants, like even though like like no tox oh god, I totally just forgot the word for it. Toxicology, is that what it is?
Toxicology. What do you mean?
Tox scan, like tox scan, whatever.
Toxicology report.
Yeah, toxicology report or whatever. I'm sorry, I totally just forgot the word. My bad. Please don't.
Yeah, I mean it's a crazy coincidence how he was intoxicated before, but he didn't die of the drugs until like during the 10 minutes that he was strangulated.
Yeah.
That's a weird coincidence right there.
By the way, guys, if you enjoy political conversations like this, please follow my account for more of them. You'll have a good we will have more of these. Just wanted to say.
And tell your real life and Minecraft friends to hop in.
Yeah.
I actually have one guy that would love to debate as well, but he's asleep right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Wait, no, dude, Thomas, since both of you guys are mods on the Lord of the Rings,
I think it'd be.
Please advertise.
Carson said he would, or he has done some debate. I think it'd be interesting to hear his take.
Thomas, my one condition is that you have to debate him, please. No, I think I think that Thomas is a much better debater than he gives himself credit for.
You say that because I've given my opinion on this stuff where I have an opinion to give, as opposed to like trying to debate something where you sort of have to.
Thomas, what's your opinion on the effectiveness of a general strike? On how effective a general strike would be in bringing about anarcho-syndicalism?
I mean, to be honest, this whole thing is like. It's very much radicalized to me. Like,
based.
Like, I'm sort of the opinion that you said a few minutes ago, where it's like, if McDonald's is the one that has to, die for long-lasting social change, then fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what has McDonald's done for us? If anybody would like to tell me how their life has been changed by McDonald's, please go on Twitter and use the hashtag how McDonald's helped me.
Bro, what are you talking about? You don't remember those times when you were a kid and you went to McDonald's and all you wanted to do is go go to the fucking playground area.
Oh my god,
guys,
yeah,
I should
word.
say something. Oh, okay, to be fair, yeah. And also, guys, something has shown up that McDonald's has sponsored 40% of cops. Google cops 40% for more information.
Oh wait,
Uh-oh.
wait. Here's another good memory. Didn't McDonald's, like some McDonald's, have like the fucking controllers in like a game center where you could play games?
Yes.
Dude,
Like
what are you
Nintendo
guys talking
64.
about? McDonald's fucking changed the fuck out of my life.
If they have to die for but if dead ass though, if McDonald's, if Walmart, if AutoZone, if like, okay, here's the thing: if we have to say goodbye to like these like false prophets that have been like feeding our country, you know, just like poison for the last 50 years and like petitioning the governments like to make it like seem like they're healthy. I mean, like.
No, yeah, fuck the corporations.
Yeah, like if they have to die for everlasting social change, like, good. Honestly, like, you know.
Bro, if you go to AutoZone for your fucking car parts, you're like an idiot. You're like, you know how much better quality like your car parts comes from, like if you go either directly to the source or even like a small shop somewhere.
But what if you want to get in the zone AutoZone?
Guys, okay, wait, guys, I think we have to agree. There's nobody who will be. We will never let them destroy. Wait, have you guys like seen like the Ben Shapiro like doctored tweet where it was like a great monument to Western civilization has fallen, and it was like the McDonald's on fire. Have you guys seen that meme?
I think I have.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
Wait, he made McDonald's a monument?
No, like it was a tweet about
it
was a tweet from like It was a tweet from like when Notre Dame was on fire, and he was like a great monument to. Oh yeah, it was an Arby's. My bad. Yeah, dude. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm guessing that at least one of you guys has listened to iDubbbz before. Or, like, I mean, maybe you guys don't like iDubbbz anymore now.
Oh god, are we doing the iDubbbz
No, only because
thing?
no, iDubbbz rated Arby's as like the lowest tier fast food place. So if you guys are gonna disagree,
I mean, I completely disagree
Who
with
eats
his
at
tier
Arby's?
list.
Like for real.
But they have the
so
meat.
tell me how it isn't based to burn down an Arby's if it also simultaneously hurts the state. Aren't at least one of you like a proclaimed like
I'm
ANCAP?
still trying to figure out how they paid for that Super Bowl ad a couple years ago. Like I'm just amazed.
Wait, no, I have a question. Wait, do any of you guys identify as ANCAP?
Uh-oh.
Ben,
To be honest, I don't even know what that is.
like you, like anarcho-capitalist, like you guys, like are like anti-statist.
Not really.
Senba Puro,
No,
you're
I
a
wouldn't
statist?
really call myself that.
You're a statist, guys. Damn, am I really in a call with a bunch of statists? Wow. Okay. Never mind. I was gonna say that it'd be based. Wait, huh?
Are you talking about? Did you say anarcho-capitalism?
No, yeah, but I'm an anarcho. I mean, like, you know, you can be. I was gonna appeal to I was gonna appeal like to the anarcho, unity.
I was gonna say anarcho-communism. I could get
Yo, okay, wait, you should give yourself the anarcho leftist role on my Discord then. Holy shit, there's dozens of us. No, like there's a bunch of Marxist people on this server, and they make fun of me for being an anarchist.
I mean, I'm still looking into stuff, but.
Oh yeah, no, I'd rather be made fun of for being an anarchist than be made fun of for wanting black people to not die. Here, wait, I'm gonna pull up. This is my favorite conversation. So like this is one of like the guys who just was like too scared to debate me. It was so funny. Here is his. I will show this.
Damn, Benji's too powerful.
Here, wait, where was it? Oh shit, where was he? There's a really funny one. Is it this guy? Okay, here watch this. My dad's convinced the whole thing is false. Not the riots, obviously, but the actual killing. And I usually go with my dad on these things since we have similar mindsets. So here's a guy who thinks that he isn't dead. Here's another guy who said that he wasn't actually like killed by the police. He died, but it was because of drugs. Like, okay, everybody here at least admits that he was killed by the police, right?
Yeah, from the video. From what I saw.
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay. See, this is a good place to start. Like, I know that we are now like an hour 53 minutes in, but at least this is a very good place to like start off because I feel like this was actually a pretty nice discussion. I'm pretty happy with how it went.
Starting off 2 hours later.
No, yeah. No, I'm actually really happy
Yeah.
that we had it. I hope that we can have
We're
like,
done
Yeah,
with
yeah.
phase 1 of the conversation.
Yeah, we will now move
Now
into
begins
phase
phases
2.
2 through 10.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can ask Tommy. I've debated a lot in the Lord of the Rings Discord server,
Well,
basically,
well-
like with a whole bunch of people, and like usually I'm the moderator, telling people to shut up and people not to talk and stuff.
Honestly, I'd be willing to.
Tell people
Ooh,
to
if
come
we
here.
got
Can you guys like
Wolf
fucking get
on the
people to come here?
server,
Wait, can you guys get
that'd be
people to come here?
interesting.
Can you guys please get people to
Yeah.
come here, please? Because we have like actually okay, we have leftists far smarter than I.
Because I used to think
who-
Wolf was like very far left, but
Yeah. No, he's really not. I mean, he's kind of
he's
there, but
not.
not.
I mean-
Is he like a suck
crazy.
dem or something?
he has like, he has like lukewarm
know.
takes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like sometimes it's a lot of it is just kind of like liberal, where it's like.
Oh yeah,
suffers
wait, I'm
from
pretty sure like all of us hate liberals
being
at least.
too
At
non-committal.
least can we at least all agree that liberals are stupid?
Maybe.
We can we at least agree that we don't like liberals at least to an extent.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
I
that-
mean, it depends on people's character and everything else. I really don't care about political views or whatever, and I'm not like
oh
that.
cool, 2 people just joined our Discord. Thank you very much for joining our Discord.
Oh, by the way, I will invite people if you get on
Oh, yeah.
with Tommy and if you fix the freaking Merchants Guild.
Oh yeah, please.
Ah!
Yeah.
Hey,
Fine!
hey, Ben. So,
Or just give me your password
who-
and then
Oh
Who
yeah, sure,
joined
fine. I'll
you?
just give you my Mojang password.
Sadie and
That's what you-
Sadie and Skinny.
Alright.
Oh, so Ben,
I'll do that right now.
get into live stream queue, Sadie.
Is Sadie one of your friends?
Yeah, I shared the Discord link with her and another one.
Hurry. Wait, so
Hey,
Sadie wants to
nice.
debate us?
No, she pretty much sides with you.
Oh, you should. Good. Yo, you should follow us on Twitch.
Thank you.
It'd be based as fuck if you guys. So no okay here I'm going to use some pristine logic right here, okay guys? So tell me guys where this is wrong. So if you are at Magonite,
Wrong.
if you are at Magonite, it is impossible for you to also simultaneously be talking on this stream, right?
Wait, I already said wrong at the very first beginning. How do you know you're yourself, and how do you know that things are real?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No. If you are aware,
No, okay, if you are at Magonite, which is like the Donald Trump Magonite like thing, I don't know, like his like night where he's like telling like he's like a night of like counter protests or whatever. So if you are at Magonite, you cannot be on my stream, right?
true. Sounds.
So
Yeah,
therefore, if you are not following my Twitch and my stream, you are therefore at Magonite. This is unbeatable logic.
Sounds good to me.
Oh no, somebody might have a pretty cool setup over there. I mean, I don't know how that works.
By participating in this stream, you are actively taking viewers away from
Donald.
the thing. Yeah,
By saying that, wait, have you guys heard of the dog pill?
I don't want to, but
that's,
I'm gonna change my stream name to discussing the dog pill and just watch this go up to like 50 viewers.
yeah, word.
Dog
Everyone
pill
wants to hear your
roundtable.
opinion on
Dog
the
pill
dog
roundtable.
pill,
I want to
Benji.
host more roundtables. I think I'm really enjoying this actually.
I'm sorry, I need more alcohol. If you guys want more dumb takes, dumb shit,
I need more alcohol based.
be right back.
Best take yet.
Wait, you can't just bring up the dog pill and then leave.
No, that's
can't
what
do-
he's doing. He's trying to get us, hooked.
Fine, I'm
And
googling
then when
dog
he comes
pill.
back,
I'm
he's
googling.
playing hard to get.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm googling the dog pill.
It's weird.
Oh no, it's an incel thing. Never mind. It's literally an
Uh-oh,
incel thing.
okay.
Oh god, no, it's an incel thing. Wait, please tell me
Damn.
this is about fucking dogs.
Oh no.
Oh god, it is!
Oh no.
It's saying that women prefer to fuck dogs to men. Okay, that's fucking stupid, and actually we're not gonna host a debate about that. I'm literally...
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. We're going back to George Floyd Roundtable. I'm not going to discuss incel theory on my stream. At least until I am big enough to, like, have, like, enough people... Okay, by the way, if you are a disaffected male, turn to leftism instead of rightism, because, like, leftism can actually offer permanent change, and also, if you become a leftist, you're automatically hot, sorry. That's just the truth.
Damn, I can't argue with that.
Not all hot people... sorry. Not all hot people are leftists, but all leftists are hot people. That's a take.
Facts.
Yeah.
No, yeah, literally, I was radicalized by Chapo. I'm gonna be honest. I was totally radicalized by Chapo. Like, I know that that's like looked down upon by some people, but I literally just was. Because I was
Wow. Are you not
I'm gonna be
leftist?
no,
Isn't
yeah,
Chapo like proper tankyism?
no, they're not tankies. I mean, like Amber's definitely a tanky, and like also pretty anti-Semitic,
Ew.
which is not based at all as a Jewish person.
You can confirm that
Yeah.
that is not based?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, release Virgil from your fridge. Okay, yeah, Virgil's been missing for months. I'm so sad. I'm actually really worried for him. But no, like I started listening to Chapo because I was disaffected and white. I was totally on the alt-right pipeline because I was like, oh, feminist cringe. But what I didn't realize is that like I was actually upset with liberalism. I just didn't have the words to explain it, and so I associate with feminism. And the alt-right pipeline appealed to that. But the second that I saw shit that was like women, black people, or gay people bad, I was like I couldn't
Pretty
continue.
funny.
I couldn't continue like going down it, and I left the alt-right pipeline. I'd say I was like pretty apolitical after that for a while, but then Chapo definitely like helped like politicize me. And so I'm not like endorsing Chapo, but I'm like saying like if you want to if you want to see I don't know, I'd say like BreadTube. I really like BreadTube. A lot of people have like a lot of issues with it because like they think that it's just like just like very like dirtbag left, but I think that like there's like a really good way to approach being a dirtbag leftist without like being like a shitty person and like supporting without like purporting like a lot of like right wing stuff, you know? No, nobody knows. Okay, yeah. Like you can be like a dirtbag leftist and be like you can be edgy without being without shitting on a race, an ethnicity, a gender, an orientation, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, but like,
Wait, what?
I haven't really seen that many examples. On my own.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm like,
Here, I'm gonna turn the screen off so I can just quickly send Thomas
it's my mics. Use like these groups. Oh fuck.
Also, I hope that everybody likes I hope that everybody here. Okay, anybody who isn't watching the stream, you should totally turn it on in the background because I just love my background screen. I love like the I'll be right back screen.
Oh, that one.
Do you think that we're going to get back to the discussion, or do you think we're pretty good?
I think.
I could give you guys I could give you guys another question. Do you guys ever think that like the Republican Party might switch again, or it might switch?
I think that let's have save like discussions like that for like another night. I really wanted tonight to just be about George Floyd, kind of like that. I wanted to give like that just like a whole night of discussion because I really got a lot out of my protest today, and I'm going to be trying to protest again. Thomas, Hoboken on the 5th.
All right. I mean, there is no way that my parents want me doing that.
Oh shit! No, yeah, word. Because Thomas.
I mean, I don't know.
Thomas,
what it would
is your
be
heart
like if it
is your heart not strong enough to have your neck stepped on for 10 minutes?
That's true. It probably I may have a completely spontaneous heart attack.
Yeah. The reference to that is that Thomas does not have an actually functioning heart.
Yeah. That is the reference.
Oh wait, is the dog pill a Vosh? Oh no, please tell me that. Oh shit, no, I mean V-Man. Please tell me that. No!
What?
Oh, fuck.
Well, what happened to you?
No, I'm so angry that the dog pill was written by V-Man.
Oh god, it was?
Yeah, no. Okay, I'm gonna actually read it because I'm not gonna assume that it's like something that he supports yet. Because if it is something that he supports, I will cry. And also, I gave Thomas the thing to do the merchant
Thank
guild
you.
stuff.
Okay, I will do it.
So now you guys have
Right
to.
now, my computer's kind of being a fuck. So.
Wait, guys, I have a question. What if we just moved to reading Sonic High School?
Oh boy.
No, dude, you guys have to listen to Sonic High School. Holy shit, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's good.
Alright, what do you guys say we move to Sonic High School for a little bit of a cool down?
I would like to, but I actually have to go. But it was a nice discussion.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh
Have a good
god.
one.
You got,
You will
Excellent.
soon.
you got. If you've never, Sunny Egg, you can totally leave if you want to. Don't feel like you're being held captive here. Okay.
Oh, I'm good. I'm very much enjoying this.
Oh, what the
Okay,
fuck?
yeah.
You're being held captive right now. Like, if you leave, you're
Yeah,
like
no, I
literally,
mean-
you're like literally taking away from his content, and you're like hurting the working class. Like, just understand that. Like, you're fucking someone over, like, just because you have your own personal selfish